Hi guys, welcome back. This is going to be a pretty short video giving a mindset tip that I use to overcome perfectionism. So I'm not going to get into the background about perfectionism on this video. Usually it's because of some time in your childhood you were either highly criticized or you had to show up or be someone that was producing something, achieving something, act in a particular way to get acceptance, to get validation, and essentially just survive in the place that you're in. Not all the time, but usually that's going to be the case. That pattern was present in my life. This showed up in a variety of different ways, but I remember one specific story. I was at a healing weekend retreat and the facilitator said to us to not go on our phones and not go on our laptops and really focus on being present. And at the time I was doing my master's and I had a paper that was due that night. I think it was a Friday night or something. And I had done a few revisions on it, a few copies, but I still had work to do on it. And so when she said that, I was like, no, I need to do this. And she asked me, what's the worst thing that would happen if I just handed in the paper as it was with other revisions that I had already done? And I said something so crazy like, I don't know, I might die or someone might kill me. I'm like, well, that is the worst thing that could happen. And now that I look at it, I'm like, what the fuck? That's such a weird response, but that's how I felt. So panicked, and I went back to the Airbnb that I was staying at, and I actually did the work on it. I couldn't follow what she was requesting at that certain time because the benefit of me handing in something that was up to a specific standard was better than not, and then just prioritizing myself and going internal, which is interesting that I look back. But that's just kind of how it played out. So I understand where people are coming from when they want something to be a really specific way or they want it to be up to a really high standard. And in a lot of ways that is really beneficial, and you do get a lot of credit for that, and you do get a lot of beneficial things that come from that, right? But if it's coming at the expense of your mental health and your spiritual health, because everything is integrated, then it becomes something that's more of a deterrent, and that's actually restricting you from you just being you. And usually most of the time it's a protection mechanism to filter you from showing up as not this perfect human. And I know that was the case with me. I was always wanting to have things in a particular way up to a certain standard so that it would represent the perfect facade that I had wanted to create or I had wanted to show to the world. And so it was coming from a really painful place. Anyway, that being said, the mindset tip that I use now and that I have used for a little bit has been if it's a 6 out of 10, then it's good enough. And so whenever I'm doing something, because I would find that I would be really excited to start something and then it would get to implementing it or having the last 10% done, and then I would get fearful or I would freak out. So what I did was say, okay, if it's a 6 out of 10, then it's good enough and that it's actually going to go out. This mindset tip has really helped me, and I've been telling my clients to use this as well if they're kind of putting up a block between where they are and what they want because they're not thinking that it's good enough, it's not up to a certain standard, and it's causing a lot of mental and emotional disruptance because of these fear-based patterns that are just prolonging on. And so obviously the deeper work would be to go back and resolve those things that have happened within your past that are just showing up in the present. But a really practical mindset tool, if you don't want to do that, or if you don't have time to do that, or you just need to get something done right now, would just be using the 6 out of 10 rules and then moving forward and actually getting things out, because I can guarantee you that your 6 out of 10 is going to be amazing. And really it's just this protection mechanism. There is no perfect. There's always room for expansion and there's always room for improvement. And so your 6 out of 10 is awesome. I hope that this mindset tip can ease your mind a little bit. Just remember this whenever you're doing something or you want to do something and your perfectionism or your really high standard that you have on yourself that's actually stopping you from doing something or putting it into action or putting it into the 3D world, it's just coming back as a 6 out of 10, then it's good enough.